Right, in my last video, we covered essential players to buy. And in this video, I'm going to do the opposite. We're going to talk about players you should absolutely be avoiding. Now, before I start, I just wanted to say that all of the stats and the data for each of the players here comes from Fantasy Football Hub. You can sign up to Fantasy Football Hub using the link in the description below. You can get your team rated by their AI tool, and also you get your money back if you don't win your mini league. What's not to like about that? Right, so the first couple of players I'm going to talk about are goalkeepers, and I think this first one, Edison, is just a goalkeeper that I would perpetually avoid. Every season, I just don't think he's worth it. He's always priced at the maximum price for a goalkeeper. And the thing is with Edison, is in reality, he only really scores points for keeping clean sheets. And in previous seasons gone by, you may have said that of all of the Man City players, Edison is the most nailed. But as we saw last season, not necessarily the case. There can be a dip in his form where Ortega takes his place. That seems to be what happens at Man City. So he's not necessarily nailed on to play every game. He doesn't make enough saves to score enough points. And also, I don't think Man City, they keep enough clean sheets to justify picking him at that price point. So the first goalkeeper I'd look to avoid is Edison. Next up, I'm not necessarily saying that Jordan Pickford is a terrible pick, because he's not. He's decent. He will score across this season. I'm sure of it. He'll be amongst the top scoring goalkeepers. But I just don't see why you'd want to spend $5.5 million on him. I think if he was priced at 5, he'd be in quite a lot of teams. I think for me at $5.5 million, you may as well go for someone cheaper. You know, there will be a 4.5 million goalkeeper that will score similar points, I'm sure of it, to Jordan Pickford, or similar enough points that you can't justify the 1 million price difference, if that makes sense. And it'll be the same with the 5 million price category as well. So I like Jordan Pickford. I think he's a good goalkeeper and certainly a good goalkeeper in FPL. And I think, like I said, probably sounds a bit counterproductive saying this, that he'll be amongst the top scoring goalkeepers because he is every season. But I just think 5.5 million is too expensive. Moving on to defenders then. We've obviously got Aït-Nouri signing for Man City. He's one of the most popular defenders in the game at the moment, if not the most popular defender. And I just don't see it for me. I do think he's going to get good minutes for Man City, don't get me wrong. But it's pet roulette, isn't it? You're taking a bit of a gamble. For me, I would wait 2 or 3 game weeks to see how Aït-Nouri was getting on. Whether he was, playing to the attacking level that he did for Wolves, putting up the numbers, and you can tell if Pep Guardiola likes a player or not after a few games, I think. If he kind of ticks all of those Pep Guardiola boxes, then I think he's going to be a great option in the game. But we don't know that yet. I just don't think there's enough certainty around his minutes to consider picking him, particularly when he's 6 million. I think you're best off going for someone like Gabriel for the first 2 or 3 game weeks, or Van Dijk, someone who is just absolutely nailed on to play every game and then reassess after a few game weeks. Maybe he could be an option at that point. But I just don't think this early on in the season you can justify picking him. The same logic applies to Frimpong as well. Obviously, he's got no stats, right, for this season because he played in the Bundesliga last year. We all know the attacking upside that he can potentially bring, don't get me wrong. But I think there are still open question marks about his defensive ability, right? I guess that was kind of the case when Trent was playing for Liverpool as well. But I think Frimpong even more so. And with that in mind, we haven't seen him play for Liverpool yet. We haven't seen him go one-on-one with a Premier League winger to know how he stacks up, to see how he looks defensively. And with that in mind, I just don't think you can guarantee me that he's going to start every game. Conor Bradley is one of, if not the best, backup right back in the Premier League. I think he's a perfectly respectable right back, and he could start for Liverpool in his own right, okay? Maybe didn't do the best job last season when Trent was out injured, but I still think Conor Bradley is a perfectly decent backup to Frimpong and will get some minutes. And I'll go back to, we haven't seen enough of Frimpong in the Premier League yet, for me at least, to gain confidence he's going to play every game. I would imagine he probably starts the first one against Bournemouth, then he's against Newcastle and Arsenal, 2 teams who are going to have a quality left winger up against him one-on-one. Remains to be seen if he starts the remaining games after that. So I think jury's still out on Frimpong. He could be a good option. We all know what upside he brings. But at the start of the season, I just think there's too much uncertainty. On to some midfielders. I saw a load of YouTubers did videos about players to avoid already, and I imagine these two probably came up, but it's Cunha and Mbeumo, right? Both signed for Man United. In their own right, they are both really good players, right? Don't get me wrong. I am not saying that Cunha and Mbeumo are bad players. No, they scored 35 Premier League goals between the two of them last season, right? But they're playing for Man United. We don't know how good Man United are going to be at the start of this season. They were one of the worst teams in the Premier League last season. I wouldn't have touched Man United last season with a barge pole, and I don't think I'll be touching them at the start of this season with one either. It's a similar concept to Aït-Nouri and Frimpong, I think, where these two are unquestionably good players, but based on United at the moment, you just can't justify picking them to start the season. I also am not 100% sure the fixtures are for Wolves by the looks of it. Sorry, the fixtures for Mbeumo for Brentford. The fixtures under Cunha are the ones for Man United. Arsenal, Fulham, Burnley. On the face of it, they look decent, but after that, they get quite tough. They're not the best fixtures. So the jury's still out for me on Cunha and Mbeumo as FPL options. They're obviously quality players, but it just remains to be seen how they get on at United. Elanga, it's another new signing who brings a lot of excitement with him, right? There's no denying again that Elanga is a really good player. But Newcastle have so many players that can compete for these positions. They've got Anthony Gordon, Harvey Barnes, and Jacob Murphy. So they have two players for each of the sort of left or right wing spots now. And all of those players, Gordon, to be honest, was probably the most disappointing of the three wingers they had last season. You know, Gordon probably ranked third, followed by possibly Murphy and then Barnes in terms of, you know, well, that's descending order, but I think you get what I'm saying. Does Elanga start immediately for Newcastle? I'm not entirely sure. Like, they've got Gordon, who is an Eddie Howe just absolute favourite. So I think Gordon probably plays most games. And then you've got three remaining players to play one spot. You know, you've got Murphy, you've got Barnes, and you've got Elanga all competing for the same sort of positions. I just think the minutes are so uncertain. I can never deny that Anthony Elanga isn't an exceptional footballer. And to be honest, those opening fixtures, apart from the Liverpool one, for Newcastle look all right. I think they'll score against Villa. Liverpool one's obviously tough. And then they've got Leeds, Wolves and Bournemouth. Not too bad. But again, just with those minutes, I just don't think you can pick him. Another one who ticks this sort of expected minutes box, but it's Mohamed Kudus. He is one of the most popular players in FPL right now, one of the most picked midfielders in the game. And again, I can't deny he's a great player. Last season, though, for West Ham, I don't think he lit the world up. 9 attacking returns from 32 appearances. I don't think it's like groundbreaking or anything. So, number one, I don't think he actually had the best season last year for West Ham. Moving to Tottenham. Are Tottenham in reality that much better than West Ham? League position last year suggests that they probably aren't. And also, is he going to play? Like, they've got Brennan Johnson, they've got Kulusevski, and they've got James Maddison. Three players who are arguably on the same level in my mind as Kudus, or better, who are probably, well, they're more bedded in and just ingrained into Tottenham, aren't they? I guess the one advantage he has is that there's a new manager, you know, Thomas Frank. But still, is Kudus better than Maddison, Brennan Johnson, or Kulusevski? Or Richarlison as well, who could obviously play there. Or they've got Mateus Tell as well. You know, all of these players who could play those positions. Yeah, I'm not massively convinced by Kudus as an option. I think, again, similar to what I've said with these other players, you've got to wait for some of the season to pass, see who emerges as the top picks, who starts doing well, who looks like they're going to get good minutes, and then maybe he could be a good option. But right now, I just don't see enough to pick him. Another player I've seen in a lot of drafts, and if you look at his stats last season, it's obviously justified. I mean, Ahmad got 16 attacking returns from 26 appearances last season. You know, alongside Bruno Fernandes was one of Man United's saving graces. But again, where does he play? You'd imagine someone, an out-and-out striker, starts at number 9 for Man United. I don't think Cunha and Mbeumo are going to play as the number 9. And then, where does that leave Ahmad to play? Because he's then competing with Cunha and Mbeumo for the left and right wing spots. Unless maybe Cunha plays as the striker and Ahmad plays on the left. I just don't know. I don't see how he gets automatic starts. I think he deserves it based on the numbers and how good he was last season. But at the same time, you know, where does he play? So it's a case with a lot of these players. They're all good players in their own right, don't get me wrong. It can be quite easy to be drawn to them looking at their stats. But think about it. You know, how likely are they to play every game? I think one of the things you want in an FPL asset, I think particularly at the start of the season, is one that's going to play every game for 90 minutes. And I don't think Ahmad is one of those players at the moment. I'm going to sound like a broken record, aren't I, with this minutes lark, but it's true. Churky, I don't know how to pronounce his name. You all know who he is. And Reinders. We're going to go Reinders. Going to have to learn the pronunciation of their names. 2 new signings for Man City. 2 highly, players that come with higher claim. They're both very talented footballers. I think they'll play decent minutes for Man City, don't get me wrong. But they're unproven in the Premier League and they play for Man City. So number one, they're unproven in the Premier League. I think at Churky's price point, you can probably get someone more nailed on. I'm thinking someone like Ismail Assar, Dwight McNeil, someone like that. And also, I think he's an exceptionally technically gifted footballer, but I would question exactly how many attacking returns he's going to get in this Man City team. I don't think he's going to be like a 20 goal a season midfielder. I just don't see it coming. You could bookmark that little clip and send it back to me when he does. But yeah, I just think the goals will be scored for Man City by other players, if that makes sense. He probably gets good minutes, but again, I don't think they're guaranteed. You think of all of the competition he's got to get into the starting 11. There's just no way he plays every week, and it's the same for Reinders. I think he's probably going to play more games than Churky is, but even still, he's a Man City midfielder. There's so much competition for those positions, and even at 5.5 million, I think you can just go for someone like Caicedo, who's going to guarantee you start, guarantee you the defensive bonus, and guarantee you points basically at the same price. So for me, I'd avoid both of these players. All right, well, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave me a like rating. Let me know in the comments what you think of these players. Well, my opinion on these players I'd avoid. And also, if there's any players I haven't mentioned that you would avoid, please let me know that in the comments as well. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the Golden Goal YouTube channel. It should be just here on your screen. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in my next video.